My name is Elias Romero. I'm going to be telling you a class about the problems with society and all the issues that we face on a daily basis, and what I think can correct it, the correctiveness of instilling values and more ethics in our youth by, primarily youth because the next generations and for a better America, by instilling values and God-like qualities in them. And right here I have some pictures of the statistics of young adults between 18 and 22, and this is primarily like a huge problem because a lot of parents, they work 2 or 3 jobs and they're not able to be there and instill the morals and the ethics in their children. So specifically the teachers are there more than the parents are, and outside influences, music videos. We have a lot of this generation with rappers and music that instills values like 50 Cent there, for example. Like you have a large statistics of young adult generation that knows who 50 Cent is, but yet they don't know things that are taught in school. So we need to utilize a lot of advantages that we have for people to instill values in them that are outside sources, not necessarily their parents. And between 18 and 22, the younger generation, was a statistic that was formed that over 1 million crimes was committed by this generation. And my opinion is that if parents are there or not able to be there, they can get somebody that knows that they're a direct influence on their children. And for example, right here, in the olden times, we didn't have a problem that seems to be growing now because we had shows like Andy Griffith, we had shows like The Addams Family, which instilled values like, for example, where the husband and the wife sometimes slept in separate rooms. Not saying that, you know, because God wants you and encourages you to live together as a family with your spouse, but that's just a statistic that shows that back then that's where the morals were. And now you have shows, for example, like kids are interested in, like weeds, for example, where you have the mom selling weed and the kids, you know, seeing the mom doing this and getting into other things that because they see what their mom is doing and they value this as this is what they're supposed to do. So I just think that my personal goal with being a teacher, I feel like I want to become a teacher for the younger generation like you guys. And I hear a lot in the military where younger adults say their parents weren't there or they didn't have that influence that put something in them. So I feel like we should take advantage of the situation of that person being an influence and utilizing that to become a friend. Like friendship evangelism, which is my most common method that I use, because I feel like if you get someone comfortable enough that then you can share the word and share values to where their ethics will become greater. And another example that I have right here is, of course, music videos, rappers, and all this stuff, but younger adults are influenced more by what rappers' ambitions are: money, wealth, cars, fame, women, and you know, women are degraded for their bodies and everything like that, and that's what this generation wants to value in terms of that's what they feel is popular, and that's what their goal in life is, rather than seeking God and having morals. Because if you seek God and realize that we are created in the image of God, then you will realize that, you know, certain things you shouldn't do because our Creator made us to be like Him, so you're supposed to have the mind of Christ. And this is specifically the problem that I see today in the generations, and I feel that it's more of a responsibility for everyone to adhere to, rather than just think that the problem is going to solve itself, because gradually it gets worse and worse as the years go by. Like from 2003 to 2005, the statistics showed a rapid growth with the way the society and the youth were adhering to the outside influences that they have now. And gradually, of course, this is biblical because the Bible teaches us that gradually things are going to get worse because man is going to play God. There's going to be wars and rumors of wars, and a lot of things that is prophecy pretty much playing its role. But I still believe that there can be morals and values instituted in our younger generations that they can adhere to at least make it somewhat better. That cannot be escaped because it's inevitable. So this is pretty much what I'm talking about. And basically, younger generation with rape, which is one of the most commonly growing things that's going out with the younger generation, because they like to party, they like to drink, and a lot of times when alcohol is involved, you got a lot of negatives with drunk driving, of course rape, because people are not at the mind capacity to understand what they are doing, but the law specifically states that if you're not in the right mind, it doesn't excuse you for doing something. And a lot of people have problems knowing their limits, and whether your belief is to not drink at all or to drink moderately. I believe that a lot of people don't know where that line is to where moderation is. And this young man right here, he was convicted of a gang rape and 17 years old, and pretty much now a lot of times younger generations were tried as youths, put in boot camps and other facilities that would monitor them until they became an adult. But now, because the rapid growth is becoming so evident, that they're being tried as adults. And pretty much you're 17, 10 years, you come out at 27, 30. So pretty much the majority of your life is gone that you could not get back, So I feel that instilling values and moral ethics will solve this problem. And once again, going back to the rappers, I feel like if they took a stronger admission to knowing the influence that they have on younger generation, rather than specifically doing the things that they're told because of propaganda or publicity, I believe that that will make a stronger influence. But in today's society, that is not what is suggested, because they want you to instill fame, fortune, women, exploit them, and they want this because this is what sells. And that once again tells you what's wrong with this generation, because we're going to the wrong things. But it's not because of our parents, because our parents can only do so much. It's because of society and publicity and the media. And this is pretty much primarily my goal for becoming a teacher. Once again, we have music videos, and like it says, one of the devil's biggest tools is lying, because he's a liar. So if he tells you, because this is what you see on a daily basis, because your parents are working a 9 to 5, 12-hour shifts or double shifts, all you see is the TV. And if you're watching on TV because your friends are telling you this is what's hot right now, or this is what you got to do, and you're influenced more by what you're actually watching rather than what your parents are trying to instill into you. And right now I'm going through this with myself because of my son, and we're trying to work that out. But I believe that fathers are needed, and in this generation a lot of fathers are not there. And I believe that certain things, a mom can raise a child by himself, but certain things need to be enforced by a dad, and that cannot be replaced, along with all the elements, combining them into one rather than just single moms, single dads. Everything has to be combined, because certain things need to be taught from that specific person so they can see this as they grow older. Because of course we know that when you teach something to somebody at a younger age, it adheres to their brain whether we think they know it or not. And at an older age, they remember what you thought they weren't paying attention to. And I'm a living testimony, because my dad has been saved since he was 33 and I was 10 years old. I was out in the streets, I was always clubbing, I was a pimp, so I had a lot of women, a lot of things that I see now that are wrong. So I'm not just telling this to people because I feel this was right. I'm a living testimony because of the things that I went through. And when I say I was bad with women, I was significantly bad, like really bad. So I know what I'm talking about, and a lot of things that people come to me with, and I tell them, and they wonder, like, how do you know this? Because I'm a living testimony, an example of what I was. I had my father try to instill these values into me, and even though I was being influenced by outside sources, it played a role to where I am today. And me joining the military, I always say this is like my lion's den, like Daniel in the lion's den. I'm building long suffering and patience, along with you guys. No names, but it's rough, and you have to have that patience and that wisdom to utilize what to say and when not to say something, like certain people. But I just want to thank everybody for being here, and this is my lesson for today. Thank you. Woo!